just like in our overview about brushing, it does tell our bodies to alert themselves, to be aware of where we are in space and what we are doing and being able to control our body better in space. So when we are brushing, we're going to have the brush on our skin and it's not going to come off, so it keeps contact. So if you're brushing, you're going to do arms, both arms, the back, and both legs. So you're going to avoid all tickly kind of places. You're going to go up and down, and you can see how it's kind of going fast. Fast would be alerting, slow would be calming for a student. Alerting, maybe you need to get someone who's kind of like sleepy. You want to kind of get them ready in the afternoon and give them some more energy. Also, you're going to do hand. These help with sensory defensiveness and lots of other things. So I've done one arm. When you're doing the back, you're just doing from this space to here, from here to here. It's just this much space, basically, from here to here. Again, it's going to be horizontal. You're holding the brush like this. You're pushing very firmly. You can see how the bristles were all smushed down when I did it, and I kept in contact with the body the whole time. You're going to do that 6, 8, 10 times, depending on the student. And so you do both arms, you do the back, and then you're also doing the legs. And again, you're going all the way up and down. You can notice I didn't do the back, I don't do the inside of the legs, so nowhere where it could be tickly. You can also do feet, and so you would again, I know I said don't do tickly, however, this is a place if people are really resistant to wearing shoes, they take their shoes off all the time, this will help them keep shoes on more often. And you would again do it very firm, so you're not tickling, you're doing it very, very firmly. If someone's really ticklish, you just have to take your time and try to explain to them that you're doing it very firmly. After you do the brushing on each part, then you're going to do compressions. Compressions is always going to be pushing together. And so compressions and brushing go together. At these young ages, I always do them. I do have a few kids who are getting a little bit older who brushing isn't necessary every single, 2 times a day. But some of them still do need that, and you would include compressions for them as well. As students get older, you would be decreasing how much you're doing, so compressions would be less likely, and then eventually they would be fading out brushing as well. So older kids in the high school, you'll see they don't generally do brushing at some point. Compressions, you're going to be on each side of the joint. So one hand here on this side of the shoulder, one hand here on this side of the shoulder, and then you're going to take your hands and push them together. 6 or 8 or 10 times. Fast to alert, slow to calm. Then you're going to do the same on the elbow. One hand on each side of the joint. The same on the wrist. One hand on each side of the joint. And then when you do the fingers, you can start at the top and then push all the way past the knuckle that connects to the hand. So again, you're pushing in, pushing against the joints. You're not pulling out because they could dislocate joints. You could do hip, depending on the size of the student. One hand on each side of the hip, one hand on each side of the knee, one hand on each side of the ankle, and then the toes as well if there's someone who's very sensory defensive to shoes. You could do brushing up to 2 hours or as needed, depending on the student. I typically do twice a day.